I'm gonna try to stitch these together. Sorry, I was seeing why my phone was saying low battery when I had it plugged in charging, but obviously it wasn't charging. So to bring it all back to here, this is one of my favorite sets. I have 5 of them in my layout. That's so much of a favorite set. And I even have back of the box build in the layout because I really thought it was cool, and I mentioned that numerous times. Flight of the Phoenix, which is the other set that back of the box build that I really liked from that set. I just happen to know that I got wing plates, and I happen to know that I got some other parts and pieces in the lot that I just finished, and including this piece. And again, that piece could be from a variety of different sets, but it could have been the Starfleet Voyager. I mentioned it could have been a Starfleet Voyager because I had a lot of parts and pieces from the Starfleet Voyager, which are kind of also in this set. But anyway, I'm going to build this set because I just feel like it. And as I keep on saying, it is a wonderful, wonderful little set. And I thought I'd drone on about it for a little bit. What I do now, and you can, if you ever see my layout and you have not the authority, if I ever give you permission to touch stuff in my layout, which is, for my friends, when I started building the initial ones, what I did for the review, I think I tried to be as authentically original as possible. So I got the original 1x1 with a stud on the side, thin, not the thick one like that. What I started doing after that, when I reconstitute any set that requires these pieces, is that, or the thin pieces instead of these type 2s, whatever number I have, like supposing the set needs 2, 4, 8, whatever, whichever thin or wide gets there first to that number is what I'm going to use. So there are some specific sets that absolutely require the right piece. So I understand that, so that's fine. But if it doesn't require the thin piece, and it's just there for whatever, I will whichever set. So I happen to find 2 type 2s first. So these are what's going to be in the set. So it's not going to be original, authentic, but I don't care. Oh, for granted, I hate when Puron does this. You think I'd have this memorized? It's been a long time getting from there to here. So I used to have this one memorized when I was a kid. I still have the 918 memorized. That's my claim to fame for myself. So it is still a wonderful set that I can build. And again, people say, you're building it wrong. No, I am not building it wrong. I'm building it the way I want to build it. And other people can build it the way they want to build it. I will build it my way. So that's 8 or 6. And then we get down to the end. You think I'd actually just forget the instructions right now and just go from, why? I thought I grabbed 2. Oh my goodness. I didn't. No. Those go there. I have to go because I thought I grabbed 2. I don't know where they went. So give me a sec. I forgot to grab a 1x2. I could have sworn I grabbed 2. Obviously not. And the simple fact that I do not sort my white pieces in the Jeff VW way of hiding. Anywho, it was hiding. That goes there. 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 This goes in here. Sometimes they don't fit, but if it don't fit, you must have quit. That's my youth right there. It was so I just said that, and immediately my brain jumped to 14 different things. It's sad that Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away today. I liked him as an actor. I mean, we forget about the first show that he got his really big break in. He was good in it, but he showed up in a bunch of stuff as a guest star and a bunch of different shows. And I said, hey, there he is, Theo. And he was really good. So it's sad that a mishap like that, like a drowning, is, you know, not good for his family. And all my prayers and thoughts to everybody that's involved in that. But I went right from whatever to that. My mind might work sometimes. But there you go, all done. What I was going to do, and I'm gonna do it right now. So this is 6842. And I've been meaning to do this forever. 6842. Back of box boiled pictures. See if this is actually going to do anything, because back of the box. Back of the box builds. There's a website. I should have known this. Back B. That's the one I built. I love Back B. I love that set. That back of the book. Back C, I remember building it and going, meh. So, and back A, no. So yeah, then we're back to B. And I don't feel like doing that. So, and let me just come over here to make it completely complete. Oh, I had one the other day. Oh, I have to get on my chair again. So here's the thing. I'm in going on my wall minifigs over there where I keep my classic space figs, and yay, there you go. In here I have torsos, helmets, and air tanks, not legs because I have lots of red legs from before, that I can build lots more classic space guys, but those are the new pieces that you got in the 10497. My mind works in mysterious ways. So only when I needed, there's a necessity that I'm out of red minifigs, and I think I have, well, I see 1, 2-ish, 2 full guys and a whole bunch of guys with actual captain's hats over there that I could probably make. Doesn't matter. I have enough for now. For what it is, for what this is, which is a grand total of how many pieces? Head back and back, and 44 pieces. This is, again, not to go off in these tangents, like I like going on tangents. The new sets are fantastic. I am not ever going to disparage new sets. I think they're phenomenal for the details and the building techniques and all that stuff that are part of the newer sets. Josh has a whole bunch of those speed racers, or whatever you want to call them. Those there's a whole bin of them here. I think we got like dozens and dozens, and he loves building them. And of course, they're not much bigger than this, and they have hundreds of parts in them because that's what they need. For 44 parts, this looks fantastic to me, to maybe my generation. Maybe the newer generation says it looks all blocky and whatever, but the adventures that I had with this thing, along with the 918, the 6880, and the 6890, and the 6824, I think it's 6824. I always forget the number of that guy. Let's go back here to, why don't I have lug nut up anymore? Oh, Piron Shuttlecraft. There we go. Go back. And lug net, I'm gonna say it was 6824. 6824. Let's see how good I am. 682. No, not even a 6824. Okay. 6842. And it's gonna be deeper. 6870. Huh. So I had 6870, 6842, 6880, and 6890 for Christmas after I got the 918. A couple Christmases later. So I got the 918, and then a couple Christmases later I got those 4. And so I had 5. And when I got those 4, I was 13, I think. And my parents stopped buying me Lego after that. So I got those 4 sets, which included this one. And it was at that moment I started buying my own. But I got to like 14, and there was no Lego under the tree. No. But again, I'm not going to fault my parents. But I started buying my own, and I started acquiring when I was 14, 15 used lots. So because that's when most of my friends were getting out of it. So that's just a little piece of nostalgic history about me. This was one of the originals that I got for Christmas. I only got 5 for Christmas, as I say. And there's 2 of them right here. And back then, by the way, unlike now, this was in the store for years after the fact. It came out in 1978, and I think you could buy it into 80, 81, possibly even 82, maybe not. But the 3-digit sets were available for a very long time, like years. Whereas now you got 6 months, maybe tops overall, especially if the set's coveted and it gets sold out and they don't do another run. It seems that Lego has changed, and I'm not saying they purposely impose scarcity on coveted sets, because I can't say that, because the 10-497 I thought was going to be hard to find after 6 months. The 10-497, I thought, oh, I better get one the day it comes out on the market, because it's going to disappear very, very quickly and there's not going to be any. And then I bought one the first day, and then I bought one a week later. I bought one. I think I bought 3 altogether. And with 3, and with the parts left over, because I did the 918 first, and then I did the 928, and then I did the 924. But the parts left over from the 918 and 924, with a small bricklink order, I built an entire other 928. So I thought that was pretty neat. So I got 2 928s, 10 928s up there, the new version, one 918 and one 924. And so those are the 3 sets that I bought. Now, yet I also have under here, buried down there, I got a set from my friend Callum, who said he was never going to. No, I bought it for my friend Callum. That's right. So I saw it on the marketplaces. See, this is how bad the memories. I saw it on the marketplaces, and I said, "Hey, Callum, I know you haven't gotten." This is like well after they were off the store shelves. I know you didn't have it. This thing was like $50. So he said, "Oh, maybe." Well, I'm gonna keep it unless he wants it. And so, but I remember going. We this is before stuff happened. And therefore we would not do this now. But back then, when the 10-497 was released, a couple months into it, 4 or 5 or 6 months, we hopped across the border for whatever reason. It was the trip. We went to Legoland between Christmas and New Year's a couple years ago, after COVID, but before Doofus became president. So good luck down there. But we hopped across the border and we went to Middletown, nice little spot in the world. We stayed there overnight, and the first day we went to Legoland, New York, between Christmas and New Year. So all the external rides were closed, but everything internal was open, and you could still walk around the park. So we had a blast. Josh had so much fun. I had so much fun visiting Legoland, even in December. And then we went back to the hotel, and the next day we took a bus into New York City. And I'm going to say, so, going to get back to the 10-497 in a second. So we went to New York City between Christmas and New Year's, and they were getting set up for New Year's Eve. So we were right down on 5th Avenue. We saw the Empire State Building. We never got into the Empire State Building, but we did get into Rockefeller. Rockefeller. Wow, I can't even speak. 30 Rock. We got into 30 Rock. And Josh wanted to go skating, but we never got to that point. He wanted to go to all the shoe stores, so we went to all the shoe stores. I wanted to get over to the Intrepid, didn't get there because it was way too busy for one day. And we got into Central Park, which is fantastic, just the edge of it, and saw a couple shows there, public shows and whatever. We didn't have time to go see a Broadway show. We had a nice dinner a block off of 5th. It was an Italian restaurant, I think. Fantastic food, absolutely fantastic food. And so we got to walk around and see the sights, and I wanted to go to the Lego store because, New York City Lego store might be able to see Neil Patrick Harris. So, but we got close to it, and there's a lineup out the store, down the block, down the street, like not even close. The end of the line was not even close to the building. I said, "There's no way." For me, I'm a fan, but I have one day in New York City. There's no way I'm going to stand in line for like hours to get into the store. So we went to a bunch of begatas. Oh, for crying out loud, my mind's gone. As little stores, little convenience stores, and that you always hear on Blue Bloods and all the other shows that we watch all the time. And so we got to see the sights and scenes like that you've seen your entire life on TV in New York City, and it was just literally fantastic. Pagoda, is it pagoda? That sounds wrong. Pagata? Screw it. I'm going to stop trying to say words I can't sell. Rockefeller. I'm going to stop saying it. My mind is having a tough time communicating to my mouth. so screw it. So we had a great time. And then we went back to Middletown. And when we were at Middletown, there was a Walmart there, and at night. And we went over to Walmart to grab some sundries and whatever else we're going to get to drive home the next day. And as soon as you step in the store, into the actual store proper, there was a shelf about 4 sets wide and high. It was just stacked with 10 $4.97s, and they were on deep discount for like $60, $70 US. Maybe it was 50. I don't know, that's Sandy. But they were stupid cheap. They were just dumping them because there was far too many of them. So I don't know if the Lego company thought that the 10 $4.97 was going to get a huge rush on the nostalgic factor of the Galaxy Explorer, because people have been talking about the Galaxy Explorer since it came out, and it was the most coveted set, and it was the #1 ranking set on Lugnet for decades, and blah blah blah. And so they released it. They might have overproduced it, and they were just deep discount. And I think you can still go on Marketplace right now and find a mint sealed one in box for like $60. I haven't done it lately. But I already have 2 built, and a 924 and a 918, and I got one in a box right there, just in case Kellen wants it. So I'm not interested in getting yet another one, because again, I'm downsizing. Excuse me. But I still think it was a fantastic set. The build was fun. The alternate builds were fantastic, and I'm glad I have what I have. But it was a very good homage to the original, and I think my friend Chris has been rebuilding all these sets in the same style as the 10 $4.97, and he's doing a fantastic job at it. I was thinking about doing that myself, but I'm going to just leave it up to Chris because he's a far better builder than I am on the newer stuff. And I'm just going to keep on doing this kind of thing. I was hoping that I could remember another back-of-the-box build for this thing, but I already did B, and A and C are just crap, so I'm not doing those. So I'm just going to leave this here. I'm not going to bring it to the layout. Sorry, it's got to be on the screen. I'm not going to bring it to the layout because I already have 5 in the layout. I was thinking now I might bring it to Bricklemania and just sell it in the garage sale. Hey, you got this thing from Dave's collection, but of course it's not 100% because it's got the wide 1x1 with stud on the side instead of the narrow one. And some people might say, oh, it's got the wide one instead of the narrow one. And again, I'm not going to fault them. If they want the original, then that's the piece that should be in there. For me, I have a bin of parts that are not sorted, and I will say the scarcity of the originals, because they break so easy. I just put another one in the bin of doom right before this video. It was a gray one, but it still went to the bin of doom because they break. The white ones, I have seen broken ones, but they're far less frequent. And it's amazing when I'm building with 1x1 plates. All of a sudden, I'll see a vertical line on one of the sides of the plate, and I'm going, this was one of those pieces. so then it broke. So it's not a surprise to me that they're a rarity, getting rarer all the time in my collection. So I will mostly just grab and just complete it with the wide ones instead of narrow ones. Yeah, so I'm going to do something else now. Probably not going to videotape that. So I'm going to do some more sorting. It's going to get busy over the next couple weeks, and the videos might be less frequent than they are right now. There might be some gaps, just giving you a heads up. This one is going to be dropping, I think, next week. Today is Monday, July 21st. I always forget dates now. I'm at that point now. I'll forget a lot. Yes, Monday, July 21st, and I think it's coming out next week, this video. So I'm going to try to stitch it with the other one, or just going to do 2 parts again, like it's too lazy to stitch them together. That's the way it is. So that's it for this video, 20 minutes, trying to keep them shorter, because I do go off on tangents. That's it, that's all, and I will talk to you soon.